Hey, happy Wine Wednesday.
Happy Wine Wednesday. Woo! This is
For real.
Black Hills. Yeah, Black Hills Week.
Yeah, last
Oh.
time we went live, it was a Friday, so it caught me a little off guard. Now it's for real
Absolutely.
Wednesday.
So welcome everyone across the country. Carl's Wine Club members, we have a special week. We are right into the Black Hills Estate Week. Lots of world-class wine, even some iconic cult classic wines that some of the like Nota Bene, there's nothing else like that in the country. So we are excited to talk about it. We're gonna have a guest from the winery. Kazan's gonna join us in maybe 10-minute times. So we have a lot to unpack, a lot to talk about. I want to talk about Christmas gifting. I want to talk about classic cult wine. I want to talk about what we can do best here in Canada. I want to talk about the Black Sage Road, but I want to also talk about a little bit about Niagara because we're going to have something fun going on next week as well. So welcome everyone. It is November. It's really November here in the Okanagan. There's a cold snap around here. So
First
yeah.
time we've gotten snow in a long time
I know.
in the Okanagan.
Absolutely. That's why we have a little beautiful Riesling here to open the show. A nice off-dry Riesling to get our palate going before we go into a little big boy. We're gonna taste the 2020 ipso facto from Black Hills Estate live tonight. So I haven't tried it yet. I have a couple sniffy sniffs around, a couple nose to see what's going on, and the Cabernet is just popping
nice.
out of the nose. There's a little bit of a smoked meat from the Syrah as well, so can't wait to dig deep into that ipso
and
facto.
Vicky's here, and Vicky's been raving about this ipso facto. So Vicky, we're
I
about
know
to
she
taste
said
it.
it's probably the best wine that she tasted when she was down at Black Hills a couple weeks ago. So 2020 ipso facto in the glass right now. Has been open since 3 o'clock this afternoon. It's now 5 o'clock. So yeah, everyone, the people from Quebec, you can see people from the Eastern time zone here tuning in. Vicky's in, Pierre Nollet is in. We have a bunch of people from Quebec and Ontario. Welcome to all of our people in the eastern in the eastern provinces. Our crew in Alberta, in Manitoba, Saskatchewan, so all over the country. Canadian wine lovers, welcome to a very cool and special Wednesday Wine Happy Hour. We're excited. How are you doing, Mira?
Pretty good. I'm excited too because as much as I love these white wines we've been having all day, including this Riesling, is so mouth-watering. But I'm excited for a red. I haven't had a red in a little while, so probably haven't had a red since last Friday. Since we
not true, because we followed up with another Golden Mile on Sunday. I haven't posted about it. We received some Tenor and Creek because we were right in tasting the Syrahs, and boom, just like magic, just like that, the package show up on a Saturday morning at the door, and it was Tin Horn Creek sent us a box, and that was the 2019 Oldfield Reserve, who just won gold at the 2022 the All Canadian Wine Awards. So we cracked it open, and it was pretty good. The night after we had the two Black Hills open, so we stayed in the same region.
That was a hard act to pass.
I know, I know. So so pretty cool. So that was the last red that we had. It was on the. Did we had it? No, we didn't. You're right. So we have Vineland. This is the Elevation Saint-Urbain Riesling, 100% Riesling. This is fascinating to me because in terms of that Riesling, just quickly, this is what people are scared about when they see the technical number, 36.2 gram of residual sugar. And people say, don't drink that. No, it's sweet. 36 grams of residual sugar, not for me. I'm like, whoa, calm the fuck down. Okay, slow down. This 36 grams of residual sugar is just so freaking fantastic in there because there's 10 grams of acid. There's like the whole component, the acid structure, the minerality structure, the everything it wouldn't be good without 36 grams of residual sugar. It would be just like too aggressive. That sweetness just brings that whole beautiful lemon pie, that little personality, that softness, that sweetness, but not sweet. I don't know if you did you get that? It's sweet but not sweet. That's why we call it off dry. But it's not that zingy.
It's
hurt my mouth kind of. It's comfortable. It's just so comfy
it's having
in the
like
mouth.
it's so comfy in the mouth. You're so right. And it's not, it doesn't feel sweet at all.
Sometimes you're getting into a sometimes you're getting into a zingy Riesling, and it's gonna hit right there, and you're going into that, you're like, ooh, ugh. No, this one, you're like, oh,
it's like more luxurious in your mouth.
Just like I want to have sex. Yeah. Like,
that's good one.
No, that's not what I wanted to say. I did it again. No.
That's how you feel.
5'10", like. Oh no, there's some minors. Oh Jesus
There's
Christ!
No minors here.
But no, that's the feeling of that Riesling. Like, so good and so like.
Oh, thanks, Mike. I don't know. Hopefully no one else gets laggy Carl, but I'm getting like Carl all animated and then like a little pause and then all animated and then like a pause. So hopefully that's just my computer or something. And your stream is going just fine. But yeah, very exciting Riesling, that one. And what I love about the Vineland wines is they're so affordable.
This $22.
Including tax, right?
Including tax, and it's one of the most expensive.
Yeah.
So anyway, that's from all the way out east from Niagara Escarpment. We're going to talk about that next week. But just a little recap. What we've done last Friday was pretty cool. We had a cool show on Friday, an impromptu, a Friday wine review with Carl and Mira. We tasted side by side the two Black Hills, the 2019 versus the 2020 vintage. So, and I talked to Kazan yesterday, and I wanted to have a little bit more a deeper dive into these two vintages. So we're going to talk about it tonight a little bit more, 2019 versus 2020. Listen, it does. Yeah, you got it, Mike. Absolutely. Whoop, whoop. Yeah, we're going to talk about that. And to me, it was quite obvious. The whole 19 versus 20, the colder vintage versus the fruit bomb of the 2020. So the result of the wine, we got some of these conversation in Facebook following the posts and the scores that the 2020 were just bottled. So they're still like very, very young. And I completely agree with that. There's no denying that with more time in the bottle, things are going to gel a little bit more. But stylistically, 19 and 20 are completely opposite style of wines, like the more old world, colder vintage style of the 2019, more restrained, a little bit more earthy, and versus the 2020 is hot vintage, more fruit style, higher alcohol, and the whole shebang. But both vintage really, really good. But let's talk about the 2019 Syrah was just so good. It's just
like that was definitely Carl's favorite. Honestly, my favorite too. Yeah.
I even back on Saturday night.
We
You
know it's going
remember?
to be a good night if you open a Black Hills wine, but that 2019, holy cow. Yeah.
Yeah, and like we're getting back at it on Saturday night when we opened the the Tenor Creek, the Old Field Reserve, and like even that wine has won the gold medal at the All Canadian, and like we know it's a great wine. And I was like, wait a minute. And I went back and I poured a little what the left from 3 days ago, because we opened the 19 was open on Thursday. Keep that in mind. And 3 days old 19 Syrah from Black Hills. And even then, the definition of flavor, like it was so well defined still. The expression on each and every flavors and aroma were so precise, so specific, so authentic. It was just like, yeah, that 19 Syrah, I'm sure, mark my words, mark them all right there, right there. Mike Laplante, Daryl Hickey, Vicky, write my words. In 10 years from now, we're going to talk about the 2019 Black Hills Syrah being one of the top Syrah made in the Okanagan. I'm telling you, this Syrah has such a defined, precise frame of flavors, and the purity of fruit is just fantastic. I absolutely, absolutely love the definition of that Syrah, the graphite, that ripe raspberry, that blueberry, yeah, the whole thing.
Nice.
94
Well,
points.
it wouldn't be the first time you've called it, Carl Boucher. Hey, Kazan is in the house. He's the assistant winemaker, I believe, at Black Hills. So let's bring him in. Let's see.
Kazan's in the house.
Kazan,
Hi,
hey.
how are you guys doing today?
Aha, we're rocking, Kazan. We're rocking.
Yeah, I see.
Are we saying your name right first?
So yeah, Kazan, I'm
Kazan.
I'm a supervisor in Black Hills. Hopefully,
Excellent.
assistant winemaker in future. I'm working on it.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I gave you a promotion already. Excellent.
Yeah, I like that. I like the promotion.
Kazan, she gives me demotion almost every day. So take it and run with it, my man. It's a big deal.
I'm gonna take it. I'm gonna take it for sure. I just need to talk to Ross now. I hope he's agree. Yeah, I saw you were talking about 2019.
Hey, where are you tuning?
And I'm definitely agree on 2019.
Yeah, he was just saying we were talking about the 19.
Yeah.
You like it too?
Yes.
Amazing. Yes. So tell us a little more, like when did you join the team, Kazan? And what's your take on the wines that you have out right now?
So I recently joined Black Hills back in July. And I was I'm in the industry for a long time, especially international industry, but just moved to BC and in the BC industry, and I'm just enjoying the wines as I'm exploring. Especially working with Black Hills is kind of something which is where the wines are just beautiful. You can really compare it with a few of the top chateaus when we talk about Nota Bene, and our Syrah is just so classic style Syrah. Like when you were talking about 2019, I'm completely agree, because the beauty this wine has at this point of time, you don't need anything else from Syrah. It's just so beautiful. And 2020 is just getting ready. It's just getting up there. It was a little hot vintage where you have a little more sun. So 20 is kind of a little more bigger and a little more intense, and definitely more ageability with a little higher alcohol, I will say. But beauty, it's gonna be, so I have been tasting it for last, I will say, 1 month, and it's been developing beautifully. So tasting notes like lots of cherries, lots of cloves, and pepper is really intense. Tannins are kind of a little intense still, but it's gonna get mellow soon. So yeah,
well, I totally agree with that. And like we had that conversation on social media with other wine lovers about like, well, Carl, let the 2020 comes together. These wines have just been bottled, and I completely agree 100%. But the thing I think we're all gonna agree is 19 vintage versus 2020 stylistically. And that's what I like with Ross. I know Ross for a while now. I like how he let the vintage speak for itself, right? He doesn't have a recipe where every year vintage are going to look the same. There's that Black Hills flavors. It has to taste that way. No. Ross will roll with the vintage and take what Mother Nature gives him and do the best representation of each and every year. And wow, that 19 versus 20, both side by side, is just such a beautiful representation of that. How different two vintages can be back to back. It's crazy.
True. Yeah. True. And that's what I think. I was talking with the Ross recently. I actually went to a tour during winemaking facility. He's busy. He was really busy at that point of time, and he said, "Okay, I will take you guys in." And he was showing us how he's been changing. So we used to do lots of American, Hungarian oaks before. Now he's just concentrating on French oak. So he's using different coopers, pairing coopers with the specific grape varieties, and he know how to take out the best from any grape. Especially, he's doing all wild fermentation, all organic yeast and wild fermentation. So he's really working on specific quality for a Black Hills wines.
And so we know that the 2019, what I wanted to go through with you is a little bit more about 2019 versus 2020. To me, doesn't matter if it's the Nota Bene, the Syrah, the Addendum, or the ipso facto. 19 representation, to my opinion, it's more of an old world expression of the Okanagan terroir. And the year after, 12 months later, it's truly the extension of Washington State. Truly, in a nutshell, absolutely what Washington State tastes. So what's the analysis here from Black Hills 19 versus 20?
As you know, also 2019 was kind of cooler climate, but then at the same time, we had enough sun for 2-3 months, while July, August, September, at this point of time, we had enough sun. So it was kind of, compared to 20, it was cooler, but again, there was lots of potential. Tannins were beautiful, tannins were higher. So when we go old world, when you talk about Bordeaux, beautiful, cooler climate style, that's what we were expecting. But, that's the fun about wine, how they really change, how they develop beautifully. Because I was going through 2016 and 2017, Nota Bene recently, and 16 and 17 was really different. 16 was showing lots of mushroomy, earthy, old world style. But then here, when we talk about 17, was lots of dark fruits, blackberry, blackcurrant, licoriceness. So still really fruit forward style, really completely. So that's what BC terroir is all about too. We see how these wines develop, especially with 2020. But I have seen with most of the wine in 2019 and 2020, 19 are kind of more approachable and balanced style. But then when you go to 2020 with a higher sun, it gets a little more bulky, more bigger, more complex, more alcohol too. And especially 2020 has been, it's been a tough year too for us. It's a little later summer, but then you have a little hotter summer. But then when we went to September, it's kind of suddenly a little bit of cooler temperature hits, a little bit of rain comes in, where early ripened grape varieties been harvested on time, but later on, it took a little bit time, but then we got a little high temperature, almost 20, 22, where late ripening grape varieties were getting little benefits. But then, it went well end of the day. So, yeah.
Thank you. That's a very good explanation, Kazan. And so now that we're talking 20s, have you had a little bit more knowledge have you heard a lot from Ross from the first ever bubbly? Because I am fascinated. I'm fascinated.
That is interesting. Hey, before you move to that, I just Mike's question: will the 2020 Syrah ever develop to become more like the 19? Carl, what do you think?
The 2020. Oh, I think Mike talk a little bit more about the 20s in general. But yeah, you know, they're so different in terms of vintage. Mother Nature provided like different condition, and I think that Ross absolutely extract what Mother Nature. I don't think, no, I can't. I won't. I would not expect 2020 turn a little bit more like 19, and I'm happy with that. I'm really happy to have two different expression on two successive years, because it gives me so many different options here. Kazan, what do you think about that?
I think for me, it's gonna develop beautifully, but I feel it's gonna be a little more bigger, and it might go to Australian Syrah style. I feel it because of the little more bigger depth in the even the color is a little more bigger, more deeper. And but it's again it's a wine. You have to wait for it for next year how it's gonna develop. It's kind of more deeper, more classical like. So, I'm sure you would love ipso facto. It's again, it's a beautiful. Yeah, I was talking to Ross when I went for a tour with him, and he was like, I told him I have been seeing the previous vintages of ipso factos where it's been oaked for 12 months or 16 months, and then I was talking to. I told Ross, I have seen how you have been changing the style of ipso facto, where you're increasing the cab. Like 2020 has a 55% of cab and 45 Syrah, where it's kind of 18 months of oak, 44% new French oak. So he's giving us same oak profile as a Nota Bene. So you can expect to be a really big, complex Australian style Syrah cab. So that's what I feel. There's a touch of Australian Syrah can be in 2020 Syrah, and and I'm really excited about that.
Yeah, and like I'm just tasting both here, and I think that the ipso facto, to me, out of the 2020 that I tasted, I think it's the one who is the most together already.
Yeah.
I really feel the flavors are already come together. I'm looking at Mira here. She has a little bit of a nudge, nudge, wink, wink around here. I think she really likes what she's smelling here, and she likes the first approach. And listen, this is New World. This is totally this has a little bit of a McLaren Vale or a little bit of the Aussie classic here. Cab Syrah. And just to back what you were just saying about like Ross transitioning back to what ipso facto was at the very beginning, and Ross roots a little bit as the Aussie, like where he learned also. So he's bringing back that Washington State Aussie style of Cab Syrah that we're not used to see around here. And you know what? I think that it can be a smashing hit for this one.
I'm truly agree, and I'm really liking it. That's what I think. It's really admire working with Ross. Actually, what he does with the perfection, and that's what I see in any of his wine. We had the Tempranillo 2019 is one of the best Tempranillo I have tried because of the balance, the fruit, the structure, and then ipso facto 19 was one of my favorite. I used to, whenever I used to tell it taste ipso facto, I used to do Syrah and then the ipso facto on the side, and I used to show people how Ross is elevating Syrah to ipso facto with adding a cab with a little more bigger, more structure, more complexity, but with the same balance. It just gets beauty. You're just climbing up. So that used to be a fun tasting doing. But 19 ipso facto we ran out because it was just kind of a beauty wine. Will seem like 19 Syrah. So yeah.
Yeah. So this here, what we have here tonight is the 2020, and I am pretty excited. I'm going to give it the first. Mira, what do you think? You had a chance to try it?
Well, the nose is amazing, so I'm waiting to taste, because otherwise I give it away like right away. I won't.
So what I get on the nose, I'm just going to give you what I got here on the nose. It's a lot of dark fruit. Oh, ooh. Oh, there we go. The beauty of the life. So, yeah. So dark fruit, like blackberry, definitely blackcurrant, blackberry. There's a hint of smoke, like a firewood smoke. A hint of sandalwood as well. A little bit of smoked meat deeper into it. There's some savoriness as well. I like that sound. Kazan. It sounds like joy.
I was thinking I will start a little later, but I think seeing you guys swirling your wine, I can't wait.
It's much more fun this way.
Why would you wait later? Something can happen, right? So let's not waste that time. So dark fruit, to me, totally. Dark fruit are just jumping out. There's that classic sage herbaceousness coming right in the mid nose here. There's some licorice as well. Yeah. So dark.
Can't wait till you taste this, Carl, because it's one of the first wines I've ever tasted that been like, chocolate. And then there's like herbs. And because normally, like, because I don't know that much about wine. I started drinking wine during the pandemic, okay? So normally I can't pick the flavors. I just know if I like it or not. Yeah. But this has some incredibly, like, defined flavors. It's amazing.
Yeah, I'm getting also lots of dark fruits, raspberries, really ripe. Cherries are there. The first nose I got lots of caramel, a nice touch of wood came in.
So you have the ipso facto open too?
Oh yeah, I do have ipso facto open. Yeah, I was that's a 2020 ipso facto too.
Yeah.
I thought I should join you guys. So
amazing.
Yeah, you guys shush now, okay? This is a bomb. This is an absolute bomb. Luscious texture, like it's ripe fruit, but it's nice, concentrated, velvety texture. There's some weight in it, but the good weight, like it's not something heavy in terms of weight, but there's some body. Like you're walking in the ring where like it's a heavyweight fight in there. Like it's a big wine. But there's a frame of freshness though. There's a little hint of mint who keeps everything fresh around here. There's nothing like to drag me down. The oak is present, but the oak doesn't go all over the place. It's very well contained into the frame. But yeah, dark fruit are on the nose, they're on the palate. Mira, you nailed it with the chocolate. Dark chocolate, like a bucket full of dark chocolate. There's some blueberry, we're well spread with some blueberry jam in it. Blackberry cassis is in there as well. It's savory, it's peppery. This wine has pretty much everything in there. The tannins are nothing to come and rip my face off. The tannins are soft. This is a heck of a good wine. Yeah, this is my favorite of the 2020 so far. And I know that they're all going to evolve. They're all going to develop. They're all going to have their own personality with time. But at this very moment, this is an absolute beauty.
True. I can see the heavy mouthfeel. It's just on your palate all around. It's really bigger, but then it's so balanced. Tannins are just so velvety. They're just going along with the structure. You have that little hint of, that licorishness. The cherries are really intense with all those dark fruits, but it's beautifully balanced. It's just, you can see the presence of everything, but then it's just so smooth and easy. As a young wine, sometimes the tannin can be really bigger, but here they're just going along with the structure, the fruit, the structure, a little hint of that spiciness, but then it's not really overly spiced. It's beautifully balanced. So a nice Syrah Cab combination.
That is the quintessential New World wine drinker. With balance. This is not that California, but that wine will please California wine lover. This is not the Barossa Valley, big and heavy, but that will please the Aussie wine drinker. This is, in a nutshell, Washington State, like right in the frame of Walla Walla. Like this is what it is. With the Okanagan freshness, because we're mentioning there's some weight, but the classic Okanagan freshness, it's lifted. It keeps the thing fresh, where I know I can get my wife a second glass of it, and now I have a lot of fun later on. This is a beauty. I love it. Wow. What do you think, Mira?
Yeah, that's a definite winner. I see why Vicky likes it. I know I like it. So, yeah, long story short, there you go.
Yeah, no, I think that's what I feel about, Ross wines. So any wine, if it's a Nota Bene and Syrah or a ipso facto, lots of people, they say we don't like red wines. It gives us migraine. It's kind of tannic. But I always suggest people whoever they will say, they just want to have white wine. I said, I will give you white wine, but let's taste some Syrah, just have a sip, because these wines are just so beautiful. They are so complex, bigger. At the same time, the tannins are really velvety. So even a white wine drinker, they're gonna just enjoy these wines too. There's no crazy tannins here. Even if they are, they're velvety, they're just going along with the structure. You're enjoying those fruits. You're enjoying the complexity of wines. The balance is beautiful. So this is just a perfect wine. That's why, I think wine is something you should be really open to any wine, So you never know when you get your perfect wine. And then it does changes, it does changing over the period. Your palate develops. You will have a new, favorites every time. So, that's really fun. Especially lots of people does ask when they come in the winery, what is your favorite wine? I will say, I don't have any favorite, because when you have a good wine, it becomes your favorite always, because every wine have something special. And when you get the perfect one, you're just going to enjoy that. So there's no point of having a perfect or a favorite wine.
There's something about that you can't always recreate it either. Like sometimes you taste a wine, it's perfect, and then you taste it again 2 years later, and it's different. It's still good, but it's different. It's not that 100-point experience, right?
You can't recreate the moment, Mira. You cannot recreate the moment. Wine, it's something, a time and place, right? So that's what you can't recreate. And also the life cycle of the wine, you don't go backward, you always move forward. And depending on how you enjoy your wine, just like me in their youth, when they're filled with energy, but yeah. So, but I remember a couple years ago, Kazan, I was down in Osoyoos at Inkimip Winery in the conference room, where a bunch of people from the industry were doing a brainstorming about the style of wine, which kind of flagship wine we should develop here in the south of the Okanagan, and we should sit on that. Let's make a style who define the south of the Okanagan. We're just brainstorming, right? People were throwing, like I think, like Meritage, the Syrah, And you know what? I remember that night we were that afternoon pounding the table and saying, I think that Syrah Cab has so much potential to define the south of the Okanagan. And this, in the nutshell, if everyone can recreate that in a different level, I would say this is South Okanagan in a glass right there.
Yeah, I think that's true. That's true because you can create like Meritage is a Bordeaux blend, and everyone is creating, and Syrah Cab is something which Ross is creating is something unique. It's just lifting the style, the structure, and complexity of the wine, and it's just so beautiful. And it's I think I haven't seen anyone is been doing this style in the valley better than this. What I will feel in terms of Syrah Cab.
Yeah, but this is to me that's it's the poster child of South Okanagan in the glass right now. Wow, what a beautiful result. I'm gonna give it a score a little later on, so stay tuned for that, Kazan. But it's a pretty high score. This is a heck of a wine. I will mention it again. This is my top of the 2020 that I've tasted. And usually Nota Bene is always at the top because Nota Bene, like, it became a cult wine, like one of the first and only cult wine here in Canada. I've tasted Nota Bene all the way back to 2006. Remember last year, Mira, when we had the 06 Nota Bene? Was
that was magic.
It
was almost 2 years ago now. Was that the start of the, like, maybe 8 months into the pandemic that we had it?
Anyhow, but this at that stage, I would say Nota Bene needs more time to come all together. This is more approachable right at the moment, but it is pretty darn freaking fantastic. Yeah. Hey, Kazan, before I let you go, there's one more project. I think I jumped the gun earlier. I really wanted to talk about the bubbly before I let you go because this is. Go ahead.
Yeah, so bubbly is something we are talking about always when we are kind of in a tasting room too. It's it's been a few months, it's been bottled, and we have been seeing the progress of bubbly, how it's developing within 3-4 months only. When we started tasting it earlier in July, it was really crisp. The roundness is not coming through much, but it was too crispy. But now, as we are seeing, it's getting more rounder and softer, but beautiful crisp acidity, lemon, lime, that red yeasty touch there. And then it's getting beautifully and a nice long finish, a beautiful champagne style. And so, but Ross usually doing our Chardonnays, we are harvesting it early with a high acidity, and then which is giving that crisp, refreshing, lots of lemon and lime to this blend. And then we have that Pinot, which is giving a little more structure and depth. It's 59-41 blend, traditional method, 40 months, second fermentation on lees in the bottle. So beautiful, it's been developing, and we want to see how it's going to develop. And I'm sure for another 10 years, if you want to leave it, it will go really, really well. And it's, Ross has been working hard on this wine. And so I think it's a win-win bubbly for the valley.
Yeah, but so I tasted that wine side by side with 2 or 3 other bubbly from the region and from the valley, and this had more seriousness. This is more serious. This is more linear. This is precise. This is a champagne. This is Okanagan champagne. It's serious. There's a complexity in there. And to me, I love that linearity of Chardonnay, that precision. I love that. It gets me to a Côte to the Côte de Premier Cru in Champagne. I really, really, really love that style. And you can see there's a lot of love. There's a lot of thought. It's not a second thought process in there. It's not, let's take some stuff, oh, what can we use? No, it's been built with purpose. It's been built with a defined idea behind it, and it gives a really precise result. I am impressed because it's the first try, but we can see some of the Ross Weiss Niagara background here, because Ross was in like, this is that little bit more Niagara style of precision. I really like that. I was impressed. I give it a 91 point. I love the packaging. It's clean.
It's beautiful.
It's simple, but it's classic. So yeah.
Yeah, the packaging is beautiful. If you keep besides few of the top champagnes, you can't say it's a sparkling wine. It's just been done so perfectly. And then yeah, the product is just amazing.
Yeah, it is. It is. And there's some people are putting bets online here. People are betting on the score that I'm going to give it in a few minutes. So I think the buzz is on. You guys missed that. I was just trying to top up my glass and I poured the whole thing beside the glass. Everything is on the table.
Oh, really?
If you want to see my shirt, I just completely wrecked a Tommy Hilfiger sweater here. I am like, the chair is soaked. Yeah, I poured the whole thing right beside the glass. If you can send one of our runner up here with a cloth so I can clean up a little bit, and would be greatly appreciated. I made a big freaking mess here. Thanks God it's not on the carpet. It's all on the chair though. Yeah, you missed that. I kept it. I kept it pretty discreet. I was like, oh.
Ipso. That's a ipso effect.
Right? Yeah, that's it. Absolutely. No, I really like the explanation of the brute of the classic method. And yeah, to me, as a first, often because making a traditional method wine, it's not something that you get right out of the gate. It's a completely different ball game. It's a complete different ball game, and getting it right the first time around. Yeah.
Well, clean up.
Oh, thank you.
It's for sure. It's you need lots of patience. You really need lots of patience to do a great bubbly, for sure.
Yeah, oh, I'm listening. Sorry.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, you need yeah. It's and then how you wanna make your style of wine too. Like how long I think it's a good try for 40 months keeping your wine on lease. I'm sure in future Ross wanna go higher and to make it more bigger, more complex style, because this is just so beautiful champagne style bubbly he has made. And if we go more 60 80 months on lease, the how the wine is going to develop. I just want to see all those stuff happening in BC, especially with the Black Hills. And because as Ross, he's been now he's a head of winemaking team in BC wineries, so he's helping everyone to make good wines. And I want to see how wines in BC, especially Andrew Peller wines, how they're going to develop over the years.
Well, I think in terms of traditional method wine, I think it's how you need to be methodical. You need to have a thought process. You need to be organized. It's step by step by step. You cannot rush anything, and you need to be methodical. And I think what's make renowned champagne house who they are, because they follow their style. What Ross is doing right now is building the house style, right? But to start with such a great base with this first release, to me, it's really, really exciting. Yeah, and he's not all of whack. It's like he's starting with a beautiful precision, a beautiful representation of the south of the Okanagan. Yeah, that's fantastic. It's really exciting. So Kazan, thank you so much. Before you go, I think I'm going to disclose my score for the ipso facto. Listen, okay, it has to be here. There's thought process behind the score, right? I don't just throw shit on the wall and hope it sticks and say, haha, yes. I rated over 800 wines last year, all Canadian. There's a thought process behind that. And
you're pretty consistent. It's actually interesting. Even when you just throw a number out there, it's like, then I go and compare and I'm like, yeah, that's pretty consistent.
So let's put it that way. 2019 Syrah, I gave it a 95 points. 95 points in the last 2 years, Kazan, in more than 1,500 wines rated in 2.5 years. I gave 95 points, I would say less than 20 times. Okay, I give more than 95 points only 4 wines in 2.5 years where I gave it more. I gave it 96 and only one at 98. So it's extremely rare. It's one every 200 or 300 wines that I taste. So 94 was the score that I gave for the Nota 93 was the 2020 Nota Bene. That was my score.
I think it was 94 for your. So what I have here is 94 for the 2020 Nota Bene.
Yeah, 95. The 95 for Nota Bene 19 and 94 for the Syrah. Okay. Yep. In terms of the 20s, I gave 93 to Nota Bene and 92 plus.
No. 93. It's 94 to the Nota Bene. That's what I have in the tasting notes here.
Okay.
For the 20.
For the 20s, yeah. Anyway.
Yeah.
So here, I'm saying for what I'm seeing here with the ipso facto, I'm going higher than the other two. And I believe that this should be '94 plus.
I knew you were going to do that.
Yeah. Just on the verge of a 95. This is a very special wine.
Yeah,
this
for sure.
This is Nota Bene level. This is Nota Bene level. To me, what strikes me, and it's style defining. That's what the Okanagan needs. Some of these I love 19 vintage personally. I love 19. I think the potential of 19 is tremendous. 2020 has much more press. People are going crazy about 2020 because it's warmer. People are all getting giggly, and like, oh, wow, because it's a warmer vintage. I love the potential of 19, but this is style-defining style of wine. That's what the Okanagan needs. That's what the premium wine lovers deserve to drink. This is South Okanagan in the nutshell, in the glass. I really love that.
Yeah, no, true. I'm agree about your 2019 and 2020 comment, because you know it's not about all the heat. It's all about the combination of weather, which 19 had perfectly, with the nice sunny days and with the perfect cooler temperature too, which takes us back to old world style, where the complexity gets higher, your tannins gets higher, and then you have a more potential of aging too. So no, I'm completely agree with you on this. But yeah, awesome. This is just beauty.
Get back to all the team and say, Carl said it. Okay.
For sure.
Kazan, I truly appreciate your time. Listen, it was great chatting with you. Thanks for bringing some insight from the winery. Thanks for bringing us your knowledge to the team. I greatly appreciate spending time with you.
Perfect. Thank you so much. And yeah, it was nice joining you, and it was a great fun talking to you. and sharing my thoughts and listening your thought. It's always fun to share wine and the thoughts about wines. This is what wine is all about, and I think this is a perfect way to do it.
Thank you. Take care. Enjoy the rest of your evening. Enjoy the ipso facto in your glass. Take care of the little girl because your daughter's pretty cute. I really enjoyed meeting her yesterday.
I know, yes. Thank you.
Take
See
care.
you guys. Cheers.
We'll chat soon. Thanks, Kazan.
Yeah, sure.
Thank you. Take care. Say hi to the team.
That was fun. See, it's always so interesting to get the other side of the story, the people that made
a different perspective, right?
Yeah. I love it.
Yeah, this is a new world bomb.
I need to get more music.
I freaking love it. Are you shutting it off or what? Are you calling it a night or?
I guess that can be the end of the night music, hey?
Yeah, I think that's what you did what you did on Friday. I thought it was brilliant.
Oh,
yeah. How's your glass?
Well, it's getting there, halfway through. I don't want to rush it like we did on Friday because that was a little too exciting. So when are they shipping? What, the Black Hills orders?
Yeah,
started leaving.
They have not started yet. So yeah. Oh, by the way, I talked to Pauline, the general manager, this morning, and she has, because this wine is in very limited release right now, and just one platinum. Anyway, long story short, she gave Carl's Wine Club 4 cases of 12 available. So Mira already added it to the order form, and if anyone wants to do an add-on or something, it's under custom mix. So yeah.
Yeah, it's just a bonus pick, so there's no tasting notes yet or anything like that, but you can add it on as well. We had a couple members request magnums, and they do have like 3 magnums of the 1.5 liter Nota Benes left, so those are available if you're really into magnums. A fruit fly?
Sorry, yeah. This one was sleeping in the corner. She just woke up and she went to feast on my mist.
Daryl, I would love to. Yes, that and some of the 19 Syrah. That's what I would do. Love it.
Yeah, I think this is this is such a different style, and that's why I think this is my old 2 cents here in that process. I'm excited with that ipso facto because it's style defining. It is really, really, really suited for what the south of the Okanagan do, and knowing that Black Hills Syrah is just so freaking well done year in and year out, and switching back the portion of Merlot for Cab Sauv, to me, it's forward thinking. To me, it's just like, again, it's style defining moment here in the south of the Okanagan, and that's what gets me so excited. And that's why this wine, not only I could keep because this is freaking good, because this is rich, because it's complex, but also because I think that this wine can make history. This wine in 15 years, if we see the lineup, I can see more and more of the big wineries down there coming up with these almost 50-50 Syrah Cab Sauv, because that's what we do so good right now, and seeing that style developing more and more. And it's like, yeah, this is these kind of moments in history, and I think that's one of it. So
that's really interesting, because I do remember, like, even Vicky, you were pretty disappointed when they changed the blend for the ipso facto. It was the 2018 one that was the last one they did with Merlot, right? And then the 19 was good, But it wasn't anything like this where we would like, whoa, stop, look, right? It was, I forget what you rated it. I can probably find that right now. So it was a good wine and all. But then the second time they did it, right? This is where you see the learning. It's kind of cool to see how the wineries evolved and how they do things. But yeah, really interesting. And like you said, this could become the example. Are there any other Syrah Cab Sauv blends like this in the South Okanagan?
Yeah, you sure are, but they're not, you know, I'm sure. Like I think there's Phantom Creek does one of it. I'm not sure exactly which one, but Phantom Creek does one. Who else? Quickly on top of my head. The 50-50 like that, half split or not like not too many. So
yeah. I can't think of one off the top of my head, but I don't know. So yeah, could be the defining kind of pioneer for this type of wine. Very cool. Very fun. So I'll clip that part of you saying that, and then in 10 years we can go back and talk about how you called it. There you go. Carl's the wine prophet.
A lot of dark chocolate.
Yes. See, even me, as a relative novice, I get that, which is really interesting. I don't often pick out
super rich. Super rich, but not heavy. That's the biggest. That's what take that wine to the next level. Because I can't go high on the rating with heaviness. Like, yeah, it's bold, it's big, but it's not. I don't feel squish underneath. I don't feel. Yeah.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. There's none of that heaviness. Yeah, it's pretty special. So what else is there this week? Because there's also something kind of exciting. I can show everyone what we launched for Christmas gifting. Ellis is saying that they had a 6-pack going on. Clay thinks it might be sold out, but yeah, the holiday.
Well, I think the Carl's Wine Club 6-pack is a little bit more exciting than the one that they're releasing, because they have the 2 vintages of the Syrah and the 2 vintages of the Nota Bene.
That's true. That you can't find anywhere else. And there's also a trio, the holiday trio.
So that's the Christmas gifting trio. That's the one who I'm very excited about, because there's everything. There's something for everyone, right? There's the bubbly, there's the rosé for the turkey dinner, and there's the 19 Syrah is my favorite. Before I tasted this one. So, but again, like even if I rate it, this is not about my taste. When I rate, it's not. I'm not rating about my taste. I rate the wine in general. I will take the 19 Syrah before I go personally with that. I rated a little higher this one than the 19 Syrah for the reason that I just mentioned, because to me it's style defining. There's a very special moment in history right now that I think that can be a moving forward, a big stepping board. But you know, that's but so, yeah, so that tree, sorry, I got distracted.
So that noise, that cha-ching, okay, when we start this Canadian wine challenge, when you earn points in the challenge, you hear that cha-ching go off. It's pretty fun.
Absolutely, it is fun. So yeah, that trio. yeah, coming soon. Hopefully tomorrow or the day after. It has to be at least the day after.
Yeah.
Yeah, the trio, the gifting trio. Did you have a picture of this, of the three bottles of Black Hills? $150 for the 3.
Yeah, so it's what, the 19 Syrah.
Yeah, but do you have a picture of the 3 bottles together?
I can find one just in a minute. And then it's the rosé and the bubbly for $148.70, I think, including tax, which is would make a great gift. If you can send that to someone, it would be a very special gift.
Well, that's what I was thinking. That was exactly was the thought, the thinking was behind that. It's the perfect gift for any wine lovers across the country. Listen, if someone is serious about wine and he gets these 3 bottles, this is fantastic. If it's for a gift, you check the box gift pack. Black Hills will wrap these 3 bottles for you. They're going to be wrapped in a nice little colorful paper. Also, they're going to have a gift card, a holiday cards available as well. So pretty cool. You don't need to worry about the shipping and send it somewhere and go to the post office or whatever it can be. Like, that's going to be shipped to your favorite wine lover. And yeah, it's pretty exciting. There you go.
So there is a shipping charge with these, but it's way less than if you were to ship it yourself, because they've subsidized the shipping cost. And if you do a 6-pack or 6 wines to the same location, there is free shipping. This is ridiculous. This hardly ever happens anymore. So it's a really, really good deal to get that shipped out, especially if you're out in like Manitoba, Saskatchewan, Ontario. Sometimes the ship rates out there are like $90 for a 6-pack. It's ridiculous. So the winery is covering that cost. So essentially it is a very, very good deal if you're out in those parts.
Yeah. So this is this week feature. We have 2 vintages of the Syrahs, 2 vintages of the Nota Bene, a bottle of the bubbly and a bottle of the rosé. This is the Carl's Wine Club feature. Is going to be run until the end of the week. Also, as a bonus pick, or you can also swap anything for the ipso facto 2020 that I just ate, and I just gave it a 94 plus. An absolute fantastic wine, style defining, Okanagan in a nutshell, modern, new world style of wine. Like, this is great. So yeah, here we are. This is Black Hills Estate Winery feature, and here we are, Mira.
There we go. All right, Carl Boucher, I want to share something. So today we launched, the free shipping. We forget about that sometimes when we're talking about this, but yes, that is a ridiculously good deal for 6 or more bottles to one location. So there we go. So about the Christmas gifting, right? So we often have members who say, hey, I have like clients that I work with across the country. I got to send out some stuff. And we do everything from like 2 or 3 packages here and there, sometimes just 1. I need to send something to my son who likes wine, to like 100 or more packages. So this is what we're doing.
Well, we just got a law firm from Calgary, right, who contacted us again this year, and we're doing what, 150 packages for them?
Yeah, a lot. So the point being that if you're gonna mail a package and you think it might include wine, it's a good idea to chat with us. We might have some ideas that will make it so much easier for you, so you don't have to think about, well, which winery should I do? You don't have to contact the winery and convince them to ship 1 wine or 2 wines or 3 wines, because many wineries won't ship in less than 6. So we've kind of researched who's willing to do that for us and what the pricing looks like. And so we've set that up for you. So let me just share my little screen here so you can see. I just sent out the link by email. So if you're a member, you'll have this in your email, but we'll include a personal card. You can send your the note you want to include there. We'll include tasting notes. We'll include the wine that you pick. We've picked out some really nice chocolates, like high-end gourmet, amazing chocolates. And these prices are all including tax. There's a flat rate $15 shipping charge, which you can't really ship anything for $15. So these are all really good deals. If you need to send wine or gifts in the mail, I highly recommend it. So there's some great ideas here, but we can also customize stuff for you. So get in touch, especially if you have more than a few gifts that you need to send. We can come up with something for you that will just fit right into your budget and make sure that gets out on time. So yeah, that's our Christmas gifting.
There you go. And yeah. Daryl's accepting gift.
Yes, me too. I'm accepting gifts.
Yeah. So Yannick, the ipso facto is now available through the order. We added
a pick. There's no tasting notes yet because we just tasted it live, but there is a bonus pick on the form for the ipso facto now. So you can add that to your order. And if you've already ordered, just send us a note and we'll make sure that's included because many of them have not left the winery. They had a snow event the last day or two. So they have not been picked up. Potentially some were picked up today that ordered first thing, but I don't know. So
no, I don't. There was nobody there yesterday and they would have been packed to like, I believe that it's not.
That's going out tomorrow morning. So yeah, so if you already ordered, you can add ipso facto or swap out for something you already picked, and we can do that pretty easily. So
exactly. If you want to add anything, just select pick up at the winery.
Then you won't get charged any shipping, and then we'll make sure to link your orders together. We'll keep an eye on that.
We'll take care of that. But yeah, amazing. The ipso facto, it's worth it. Just give it a 94 plus. Mira, what do you think? What's your assessment of that wine? Am I going crazy or am I just completely off?
No,
off track?
That's right up there. That's a beauty. That's the kind of wine that you can just sit and sip on and chat with someone like all night and just enjoy it. It's amazing. Yeah. I would love to have like something with it that might, I don't know. Because that chocolate is making me crave chocolate so much. It's so chocolatey, but maybe if I had it with chocolate, it would be like overkill,
Yeah, maybe. Just a little bit of cheese.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah. So this is ABV 14.5. Here, Mike.
14.5. I cannot see it, but that's okay. No, that's okay. We'll take your word for it, Carl. 14.5.
14.5. I'm telling you, it's right there.
Oh, I see it now. Yeah. See, you weren't lying. That's very good.
Listen, it shows but it's not heavy. There's a freshness. There's a little minty savoriness in there.
I was gonna say, when I inhale after I take a sip, I get this like minty freshness.
Yeah, there is absolutely like that sage mint. Something keeps the whole thing fresh, like that chocolate mixed with that after eight. It's style defining. I like that.
Classic. It's interesting. I think we have to go because our children, despite the fact that we said you can go on your device, which is usually a treat, they're all here. They're all here and like not on their device. So that's awesome. But that tells me they're probably bored. So we better go.
Okay, so that was this
ipso facto. That's right, Mike.
This is this week. Get on it. And also next week, we're going value for 130 something for 6 bottle. We are doing
tax.
Vineland Estate next week. We're going back with value and Vineland with their outstanding Cap Franc, outstanding Rieslings. There's a Chardonnay sparkling, a Pinot Meunier. We're going to redo the Pinot Meunier again, red, 100% varietal Pinot Meunier. So we'll have a really cool pack with a bunch of blends with Cap Franc in it. So it's going to be a fun way. And also, we're going to taste. It's on the way. We have a sample of the Legacy wine from Vineland Estate. The Legacy wine is a project of 10 years. Of the same block, of the same vineyard, 10 years of wine, Solera style. Every year they added a barrel, the best barrel of the same block, of the same vineyard from Vineland. now 10 years in, I have a sample on the way, and we're gonna taste that with Brian Schmid on next Wednesday. Brian Schmid, owner, winemaker, vigneron at Vineland Estate. So I am already looking forward to that. But let's finish this beauty tonight. Let's go have fun. I'm excited for what we have in store tonight. So it's gonna be a fun night here. So
awesome. Cheers, guys.
Canadian wine lovers, Carl's Wine Club members, thank you so much for joining us tonight, and we'll see you next time.